Journalists never fail to amaze us because of how terrible they are at their jobs. The journalists who are in the gaming and entertainment spaces hate the industries they talk about, and now a new article by The Independent has released trashing Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and the Rings of Power because there's allegedly not enough women in them. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and to the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So like I mentioned, this is an independent article, and it's by someone named James Moore, and it says, "Why are there so many men in the Rings of Power?" It's the granddaddy of franchises, and yes, I'm using the male gender there because The Lord of the Rings almost completely ignores just over 50% of the human population. Of course, right off the bat, you can tell what kind of article this is going to be because they specify, which genders they're using and why they're using those genders. Women barely get a look in, with the notable exception of Eowyn, the slayer of the biggest nasty of the ring wraiths, and Galadriel. Purists nearly had fits when Peter Jackson dared to beef up Arwen's role a bit in his Oscar-winning trilogy of movies. So they start this article off with attacking the Peter Jackson films, which really pisses me off because they were amazing and most people absolutely love them. These three female characters that he listed off were extremely important parts of that trilogy. They were so important and they were beloved characters. I almost never see people criticize these characters. It doesn't matter that they're female. It doesn't matter if Arwen's role was a bit beefed up in the movies compared to her role in the actual novels. People love these characters, and to say, well, yeah, we have three female characters and it's still not enough is just absurd because they were perfect. Now it says The Rings of Power, the world's most expensive TV series, presented a gift-wrapped opportunity to redress the balance, working as it did from information contained within the books, and this gave the creators more space to play around. And then, of course, they go into attacking us, saying, without attracting negativity from the substantial cohort of incels within the Rings fandom. Now, first of all, going into the Rings of Power, the creatives specifically said that they wanted to redress the balance. They wanted to have more females. They wanted to have more diversity, inclusivity. They said that that was their number one focus going into this show, basically. And of course, it is not enough for these people. They decide to attack the Rings fandom, calling anybody who likes the show, the movies, the even novels, incels, which of course is disgusting. And it may appear that things have slightly improved. Morfydd Clark, who plays Galadriel, has emerged as the star of the series, and you also had Nori, the Harfoot Hobbit, Bronwyn, the Southland healer turned leader of her people, Muriel, the Queen Regent of Numenor, and a smattering of other supporting characters. But while that's an improvement, they are still outnumbered by the boys. Of course, they try to give it a little bit of praise because their narrative has been that Rings of Power is amazing, it's great, they did so much good with it, while also attacking it. This is proof no matter what you do, it will never be enough for the social justice crowd. With Rings of Power, they went into it trying to make it as diverse and inclusive as possible. They made several female leads, and yet it's not enough to these people, which is hilarious because I hate Rings of Power and am in no way defending it, and even the people who they tried to appeal to are now attacking it. They even say women are still underrepresented among the secondary characters, too. Just look at the cast list, and this looks set to be even more true of the future. I've been getting press releases containing details of additional characters ahead of season 2, which we'll probably have to wait a couple of years for. This is hilarious because he is saying that, oh, I've gotten press releases, but all of this information has been released on Twitter. I mean, we have gotten, I believe, 16 or 17 new cast members announced on Twitter. So I guess that he's just subscribed to maybe real journalists. But I mean, I don't think that he's actually getting any information behind the scenes because he's playing it off as, I know something you don't, when a lot of info has actually been dumped onto Twitter. So they circle back to their first insult, saying at this point the incels will snarl that I'm virtue signaling or worse, but I'm okay with that. I believe in equality, but it's not just about equality. The fact is the presence of female characters makes these shows and their expansively realized worlds more interesting. Now, I have said this 1,000 times, and I will as many as I have to. I have no problems with strong female characters being in lead roles as long as we are not replacing, erasing, or denigrating male characters to do it. That is not equality. The same goes for diversity in Hollywood in general, but this isn't what they're doing. It's also okay if entertainment has mostly male characters. There doesn't need to be balance to make a story good. You don't need a 1-to-1 ratio to tell a good story, but that, of course, is what these people believe. Like I mentioned, you can never please these people no matter what you do, what you create, or what you change in series like this. They are always going to find something to attack you for, and this is why you should be creating content for real fans of franchises and real consumers, because while yes, we are very nitpicky and we do definitely scrutinize the content you put out, it only helps companies because we just want you to do better in the future. And if you're creating better products, that means you can get more consumers interested in what you're creating, leading to more viewership and more money. But that wasn't really their mentality with the Rings of Power. And it is honestly hilarious to see trash journalists like this attack a product that was made basically specifically for them. And we've heard that there's a lot of drama behind the scenes with the Rings of Power because Amazon is freaking out over how bad season 1 did, but I just wanted to highlight this article for you all because it is hilarious that these people are finding something to complain about even though the show was made for them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.